Hey guys, Chest Chick here, aka Leah, as some of you real life people know me by. I'm here to talk about something that has been spreading like wildfire over YouTube. Something very near and dear to my heart that it's overwhelming to hear has become such a popular topic recently on social media. Something that really wasn't talked about very much, and amongst different things like that, anxiety. I have severe anxiety. Manifests itself in the form of breathing trouble, or more commonly, nausea, full body shakes, and headaches. It's severely crippling and painful. It's not a good thing to experience. It has an effect on every aspect of your life. My anxiety is a social anxiety. Like at parties and things of the sort is where my anxiety would develop. I would have panic attacks in situations like that, close gatherings, people I didn't know, or something that made me uncomfortable, that I'd want to be away from the situation, so my body's response was to react. I knew a little bit about anxiety. I didn't know much about it. I did more studies recently. Even after 5 years of having anxiety, it only took me until now to notice and to take more interest in what exactly is going on in my body and worry less about the solution. The way I understand it is as the fight or flight response that's natural for humans is sort of crippled because of anxiety and go into panic mode because the body doesn't know how to react if there is no decision made between fleeing from something that causes you stress or fighting it. So basically the body just shuts down. The nausea and the upset stomach and things like that come from the digestive system shutting down, and then the full body shakes is the immune system dealing with it. It's just, it completely affects every part of you. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It just completely wipes you out and wears you down. And it's a very unpleasant experience. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through what I go through when I have a panic attack. And it's something that I found out that, like, you panic at least a good hour before the panic attack actually settles in and becomes a full-blown attack. So it's like a ticking time bomb, as my roommate would describe me. For me, anxiety started off as breathing troubles during class in 9th grade a couple years ago, and it slowly progressed to the nausea and full body shakes. Unfortunately, I would say, I wish that my anxiety had stayed in a mild or moderate manner, but the way my mind runs and just goes on and on and on about things, it just got worse and worse, and it became my focus and something that completely took away from my daily life. They were never so severe as to the point where I couldn't go out in public in general. I just stayed in my house or anything, which was a blessing. I'm glad it never did that to me. I'm glad I've never gone to the hospital for a panic attack. There are things I can take joy in and appreciate about it. But it really affected how I interacted with people because I just didn't. I didn't want to deal with it. And it was painful, and it was a huge distraction in trying to get to know people. I think it was part of my coping with switching to a new school. I had never switched schools in my life. I had recently lost my grandfather, and this is completely affecting the way I'm thinking. I actually haven't had breathing anxiety problems in a good 3 years, and they just recently popped back up because I'm not having nausea anxiety lately. I interpret the nausea and full body shakes as a more severe form, and then just the breathing problems as a very mild or moderate form. Just not having control over your own body is extremely nerve-wracking. the full body shakes made me feel like I had no control whatsoever over my own muscles. And the nausea, no matter what I did, I couldn't make it stop. And that's one of the things that does get to me, is it being sick. And obviously 5 years of throwing up whenever you panic, it kind of makes you get used to it. And that's something I'm not proud to say, oh, it's okay if I get sick. It's just something I'm used to. Who does that? Who says that? I mean, it really is a disease, a mental illness, something that completely takes away from things you could be enjoying, parts of life you are missing out on. I distinctly remember my very first panic attack, full-blown, I would say. Obviously, I had a little bit of breathing trouble before. My first panic attack where I was sick and shaking uncontrollably was at a football game in 9th grade. I was supposed to go sleep over at a friend's house that night, and it was the first time I would be sleeping over at their house. These were new friends, new people, because I'd switched schools, and I was just getting used to it all. And so I guess in my mind, I didn't think I could handle it, and I was worried about what was going to happen. And so my body did what it could do in the situation. Since it couldn't fight or flee, it shut down. And just sort of that action of my body stopping normal behavior really just cut out any opportunity for me to do anything or go anywhere that night. I just thought I had the flu. I thought I was getting sick or something. So, I don't know, it was just different. But yeah, no, anxiety really sucks. It takes away from what your life could be. And it affects you. Some people, it affects them academically. I was blessed enough that it doesn't affect my school life. I've never ended up in the hospital. I've never been cooped up in my house for months at a time. I'm still able to go out and live, which I consider a major blessing. Some people can't even do that. Some people are afraid to step out their front door. And it's something that I wish nobody had to deal with. I feel like my anxiety is bad enough as it is, but I have friends who go in the hospital when they have panic attacks. They're that bad. Their body shuts down that rapidly and that severely. I have friends who just won't go anywhere for weeks at a time. And I can't imagine running away from it that severely. I tried my best to face it head on. I'm a very headstrong person, and it didn't work. It only beat me down more. And I tried different relaxation methods, and none of them worked because I don't really have the ability of mind over matter. I've tried herbal and natural medicines. I actually tried that for the longest period of time, about 3 years out of the 5. And then within the last year, I switched to a prescription medicine. I actually had to start taking it, I had to have a doctor's diagnosis, which gave me a prescription medicine in response for school, because I was explaining my anxiety and how I might need to run home because I had a severe panic attack, and it crippled my ability to do anything, and I needed to be around my parents or something comforting. Then I needed grace, and I needed what is called academic services, and they couldn't allow me that without a doctor's note or a doctor's official writing or anything like that. So I had to go to the doctor and have a consultation about it, and obviously there was a confirmation, yes, that's definitely what you're struggling with, but it didn't help that there wasn't anything set in stone that could help with the anxiety. And at that point in time, I really didn't want to go on a prescription medicine. But I knew the herbal medicine and different other remedies were not working for me. So I went out on a limb and I started taking a very small dose of it and didn't really notice any changes. The doctor amped up the dosage just a little bit, and then I started noticing changes. I started taking the higher dosage of the medicine, and within 4 weeks, I noticed I had less and less panic attacks. There was a time where I went a few weeks without a panic attack at all, and I stopped and I noticed, I said, whoa, I haven't had a panic attack. When I noticed that I hadn't had a panic attack in weeks, I finally felt a little bit of control over my life. And I started to have a better outlook on anxiety as a whole. I know I shouldn't rely on the medicine to solve the problem, and I don't. It doesn't solve the problem. I still have anxiety problems. Obviously, I deal with having to remember to take the medicine. If I don't, then it does affect me, and I do struggle even more with anxiety. It's refreshing to know that I'm not doing it completely on my own, and that even though it is prescription, that it helps. Obviously, there are other things that factor in to controlling it and suppressing the anxiety and dealing with it that are a lot more mental, but physically, it was good to have that kind of control over my body again. I took a chance on a prescription. It was good to have it there to get me started and to get me on my way. And it's a continual process. I'm still learning and growing and figuring out what does and doesn't work for me, and trying to work on the mental aspect of it and to change how I view it and how I deal with it mentally, which is very important because it literally is all in your head. If you have anxiety and people are harsh saying it's all in your head, get over it. Well, first of all, there is no getting over it, because even though it is in your head, it affects your body just as much. As my dad used to say to me, it's all in your head. You'll be over it by tomorrow. Well, look at me now, 5 years down the road, and I am on a prescription medicine for a diagnosed mental illness. Okay, Dad, good job. Yeah, it is all in my head, and it literally affects your body. It's the hypothalamus, I believe, in the brain, the part right above the spinal cord that affects emotions and transfers the emotions into chemical reactions that transfer into bodily reactions. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's just the part of the brain that translates the panic and the emotion into a physical reaction, as it does with any other emotion, with love or sadness or things like that. So if someone's saying, get over it, it's all in your head, mind over matter, it's not that easy. Don't worry about not being able to do what they're suggesting, because not everybody is. I know I wasn't. If you are feeling things like breathing trouble, but you know you don't have asthma and your lungs are fine, you haven't been in any car accidents or anything lately that might have injured a lung, and it's just random breathing trouble, which actually I've been having throughout this entire filming process. That's why a lot of the outtakes of me actually yawning, trying to suppress the breathing issues, trying to get my lungs working properly. I haven't had camera anxiety in a while, so this is different. But if you're having breathing troubles or nausea with full body shakes and you're not sick and you've had either a traumatic experience or you've been in an uncomfortable situation that day or something of the sort, there are other manifestations of anxiety as well. Some people pass out, different things like that. If you have any of those symptoms, I urge you to look up anxiety and to research it a little bit and try different relaxation methods first. It could work for you. It didn't work for me. I took baby steps. I tried relaxing. I tried meditation. I tried making a regular sleeping pattern. I've tried herbal medicines. I've tried teas. I've tried different things like that. And it all came down to nothing was strong enough to help begin the process of overcoming the anxiety, which is what the prescription medicine does for me. I'm on a regimen of Celexa. Anybody else out there that takes Celexa, you know what it does, and just helps calm the system and balance things out. It really doesn't affect your body much further than just balancing chemicals and relaxing your system. Anxiety is a serious problem, and it's not something to be taken lightly. this is a response video for Tessa and Zoe and of course anybody else who has done it. But after watching Zoe's video, I definitely like her advice of, if someone you know is having a panic attack, just quiet, calm. I know when people talk to me and they're like, they're talking and their incessant desire and asking, what can I do for you, just makes me go, just panic even more than before. So if you're with someone and they're having a panic attack, just keep things calm and quiet. Let them ask you. Don't ask them what they need. Let them ask you. I know for me, when people ask me what I want, it just, I don't know, it makes me freak out even more. And from a fellow sufferer of anxiety, don't let it control you. Don't let it ruin your life, because it's time you won't get back. Zoe said something similar in her video. Just think about how you're not going to be able to relive that time that you lose, and anxiety isn't important enough to lose that part of your life too. It's not worth it, I'd say. And I'm not being a hypocrite here. I have every right to say that it's something that you do need to work on. Don't give in, because something's going to work for you. Whether it's prescription, herbal, just something as simple as changing your sleeping pattern, rearranging your schedule, avoiding the things that do cause you to freak out. Those kinds of things, just baby steps. Just little things, adjustments in your day or in your treatment that can really make a huge difference over time. And I'm going to say nothing's instant. It took weeks before I noticed anything with my prescription medicine. It took me 5 years to find the right treatment for my anxiety. And now that I found something that's worked, I feel a lot more free. There's not that worry of, if I were to have a panic attack, there's nothing I could do about it. Well, now, if I were to have a panic attack, that medicine's in my system and it's going to work once the chemicals start to go crazy and freak out as the body does. Then the medicine's going to take over and it's going to calm things down as it should. And it's comforting to know that I found something that works, and with a lot of help, of course, my friends who are so understanding. I've ruined many a time with friends throwing up or ending up curled up on a couch, wrapped in as many blankets as possible at a Halloween party with the loud noise pumping around you. All of my friends who are there, they know. And I appreciate all of the help, people going out of their way to do things for me. If I left my medicine somewhere, to run and grab it for me. And my parents, actually being okay with me doing prescription medicine to deal with it. I mean, they were just as avid as I was on trying to find some other form of treatment, whether it was herbal or natural or behavior change that would help. And they were there with me every step of the way, trying to figure it out. And they were open when we realized nothing else was going to work, and accepting when we decided to take the step to prescription medicine. So I'm here to encourage you. If you've tried everything and you've yet to try prescription medicine, Celexa is a very good medicine to use. It's probably what your doctor is going to recommend. So if you can, give prescription medicine a try. If you haven't tried other things yet, I do recommend that first. Don't jump straight to prescription medicine. It really is something that is mental. So jumping straight to the stronger medicine is assuming that you can't deal with it. And I know that somewhere you can. And you can do it deep down, no matter what. Just dig for it and you'll find the strength to deal with it. And if you've given it your best effort and you still can't, then go ahead and see what prescription medicine can do for you. So if you just want to talk about it or anything I said in the video, please feel free to comment or to message me. I'd love to talk to you about it. Just wanted to let you know you're not alone, as is evident by all of the response videos coming out after this. So thank you, Zoe, for kickstarting something that could be a movement for the unspoken disease, I'd call it. Because it is. As harsh of a word as disease is, it's accurate. Because it's something that affects you completely in every way, and that's what anxiety does. So we can be there for each other. I know it's social media, and I know we're talking to cameras and then watching screens, but there's still a connection there, and we can still resonate with each other and communicate. So anybody else who wants to create a video, don't worry about quality or anything fancy. Just get your heart out there and talk about it, because sometimes that helps too. So I really need to figure out how to sign off. So thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you either realize you have anxiety, understand your anxiety, or understand someone who has anxiety. If there's anything else that you'd like to hear about, I can research for you and get back to you, or you can contact me, inbox, comments, whatever you'd like. I'm here for you because you're here for me. By watching this, you show me that you care enough to listen, and that's going to be the first step in helping people understand anxiety, is just listening, because a lot of people don't understand it, and a lot of people live every day not knowing that they have it and not knowing that is what is affecting their life. So spread the word, help get it out there, and we can change lives. See you guys.